What if the partnership between India and USA suddenly hit a wall? The relationship between India and United States is more than just handshakes and headlines. It's a complex web that impacts everything from your job to national security. So, what would actually happen to India if these ties began to unravel? The consequences might be far more widespread than you think. The economic shockwave. First, let's talk about the economy. A significant downturn would hit India's wallet hard. The United States is a massive source of foreign direct investment for India, fueling sectors like technology, manufacturing, and consumer services. If that relationship sours, US companies could pull back on new investments or even shift their supply chains. That means less capital flowing in and slower job creation for India's growing workforce. This extends deep into our high tech world. US multinationals are a driving force in India's tech ecosystem. Imagine restrictions on collaboration in critical areas like semiconductors, biotechnology, or clean energy. This would seriously hamper India's ambition to become a leader in advanced manufacturing. Startups could lose access to specialized equipment, vital software licenses, and the venture capital network that helps them grow. And it doesn't stop there. A huge chunk of India's services exports, especially in IT and business processing, goes to US clients. A diplomatic chill could lead to tougher visa rules or data localization demands, putting contracts worth billions of dollars and the remittance they support at risk. Trouble with defense. Beyond the economy, a breakdown would have serious consequences for India's national security. India has acquired advanced American military platforms like Apache helicopters, C 130 transport aircrafts, and P 8 maritime surveillance planes. These are vital for bolstering capacity along India's northern and eastern borders. A breakdown in ties would mean stalling critical deliveries, cutting up spare parts, and halting joint development programs, slowing down India's force modernization. It also affects the unseen battles. Robust intelligence sharing between Indian and US agencies have been key to disrupting terror plots and monitoring extremist networks. A diplomatic freeze would shut down this real time information exchange, weakening India's ability to prevent cross border terrorism and cyber threats. Losing a global ally. On the world stage, the impact would be just as significant. Both India and US have worked to maintain a free and open Indo Pacific, largely to counterbalance a rising China. A rupture would weaken multilateral groups like Quad, diluting their collective strength and giving Beijing more leverage in region. This would also isolate India in global forums like G20, the WTO, and the UN. India often coordinates with US on everything from trade rules to climate finance. Without that partnership, India's diplomatic weight would be reduced, making it harder to shape the global policy. The Technology Lifeline. Let's look at technology sovereignty. India relies on US vendors for crucial infrastructure for 5G, aerospace components, and advanced scientific equipments. If export controls were tightened, it would create immediate supply chain shocks, jeopardizing major projects in telecom, space exploration, and defense. Even our digital economy is deeply connected. Cloud computing services, enterprise software, and cybersecurity tools from American firms are the backbone of India's digital governance initiatives. Think e governance and digital payments. Cutting off these services could disrupt public sector modernization and slow down the entire digital economy. The human connection. The fallout would also be felt on personal level. The US is home to over 200,000 Indian students. Tighter visa restrictions or a climate of distrust could slash these numbers, reducing collaborative research and cutting off India's access to top tier academic networks. Furthermore, the influential Indian diaspora in the US plays a huge role in fostering business and cultural ties. A decline in goodwill could weaken their ability to advocate for India, reduce remittance, and slow the transfer of technology and skills back home. Climate goals at risk. Finally, a strained relationship would jeopardize climate cooperation. The US and India partner on the clean energy transition, including solar manufacturing and climate finance. A breakdown would delay the transfer of essential low carbon technologies and hinder funding for climate resilience, making it much harder for India to reach its goal of net zero emission by 2070. Let's come to conclusion. So, a deterioration in India-US relationship isn't just a political headline. It would directly undercut India's economic growth, national security, and technological progress. Ultimately, maintaining and strengthening this partnership is critical for India's ambitions to grow and lead on the global stage. Thank you for watching.